After the massive crowd moved into the courtyard of the presbytery and ignored the vicar, who tried to attract their attention, they waited for Laba. He walked towards the exit with a loose, confident stride, his heels loudly tapping the church floor. The people respectfully gave way to him. The richest peasants approached and greeted him familiarly and invited him to their homes for dinners in his honor. Without inclining his head, Laba casually shook the hands outstretched to him. Women barred his way, and heedless of Labina's presence, hiked their skirts up so their thighs showed, and pulled at their dresses to make their breasts more prominent. Handsome Laba no longer worked in the fields. He even refused to help his wife in the house. He passed his days bathing in the lake. He hung his multicolored clothing on a tree near the shore. Nearby, excited women watched his naked, muscular body. It was said that Laba allowed some of them to touch him in the shadows of the bushes, and that they were ready to commit shameful acts with him, for which a terrible retribution might be extracted. In the afternoon, when the villagers returned from the fields, sweating and gray with dust, they passed handsome Laba, sauntering the other way, carefully stepping on the firmest part of the road, so not to soil his shoes, adjusting his tie, and polishing his watch with a pink handkerchief. In the evening, horses would be sent to Laba, and he would drive off to receptions, often in places dozens of miles away. Labina stayed home, half dead with exhaustion and humiliation, caring for the farm, the horse, and the husband's treasures. Perhaps in Laba, time had stopped, but Labina aged rapidly, her breasts sagging and her thighs growing flabby. A year passed. One autumn day, Labina returned from the fields, expecting to find her husband in the attic with all his treasures. The attic was Laba's exclusive realm, and he carried on her breast, along with a medallion of the Holy Virgin, the key to a large padlock secured the door. But now the house was absolutely still. No smoke poured from the chimney, and there was no sound of Laba singing as he changed into his warmer suits. Labina, frightened, rushed to the hut. The door to the attic was open. She climbed up to it. What she saw horrified her. On the floor lay the chest, with its lid torn off and its whitish bottom visible. A human body dangled above the chest. Her husband now hung on the large hook where the suits used to hang. Handsome Laba, swayed like a slowed-down pendulum, was suspended by a floral-patterned necktie. There was a hole in the roof, through which the thief had carried away the contents of the chest. The thin rays of the setting sun illuminated the pallid face of handsome Laba, and the bluish tongue sticking out of his mouth. All around, iridescent flies murmured. Labina guessed what had happened. When Laba had returned from bathing the lake to put on his parade suit, he found the hole in the attic roof and the empty chest. All his fine clothes were gone. Only a single necktie remained, lying like a severed flower in the trampled straw. Laba's reason for living had disappeared with the contents of his chest. There was an end to weddings in which no one looked at the groom. An end to burials in which handsome Laba would meet the worshipful gaze of the crowd as he stood above the open grave. An end to proud self-display in the lake and the touch of eager female hands. With careful, deliberate movement, which no one else in the village could imitate, Laba had put on his necktie for the last time. Then he had pulled the empty chest towards him and reached for the hook in the ceiling. Labina never discovered how her husband had acquired his treasure. He never referred to the period of absence. No one knew where he had been, what he had done. what price he had paid for all those goods. All the village knew was that the loss of his things cost him. Neither the thief nor any of the stolen objects were ever found. While there still rumors circulated that the thief was a cuckold husband or fiancé, others suspected that some insanely jealous woman was responsible. Many people in the village suspected Labina herself. When she heard of this accusation, her face grew livid, her hands shook, and the rancid smell of bitterness came out of her mouth. Her fingers clawed. She would hurl herself at the accuser, and the onlookers would have to separate them. Labina would return home, drink herself to a stupor, and hold me close to her breast, weeping and sobbing. During one of these fights, her heart burst. When I saw several men carrying her dead body to the hut, I knew I had to flee. I filled my comet with smoldering embers, reached under the bed, and grabbed the precious necktie hidden there by Labina, the necktie on which handsome Laba had hung himself and left. It was common belief that the rope of a suicide brings good luck. I hoped I would never lose the necktie.